As we grow older, every meal becomes more than just food. It becomes medicine, memory, and momentum. But what if we told you that some of the vegetables you've been eating for years, maybe even decades, might now be quietly working against your health? In today's video, we're going to walk through something essential for anyone over 60. The 3 worst vegetables you should avoid, and the 3 best vegetables you should eat often to support healthy aging, better digestion, steady blood pressure, and strong immunity. This isn't about following a strict diet or cutting out everything you love. It's about choosing what works best for your body now. Because as we age, our needs change, and our plates should change with us. From canned corn that spikes blood sugar, to green peas that gently stabilize it, these insights can help you protect your energy, your joints, and even your memory. So stay with us, take a breath, and let's make small changes that add up to big results. If you find this helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and in the comments just type "one step at a time." It's a simple reminder that change doesn't have to be overwhelming, just intentional. We begin today with the 3 vegetables seniors should avoid, not to scare you, but to gently help you understand what may be quietly working against your health goals. For many older adults, especially those living with high blood pressure, pre-diabetes, or fatigue after meals, these vegetables aren't always obvious culprits. In fact, the first one is something many people have come to see as familiar, comforting, and even healthy because it's often served in casseroles, side dishes, and care facility meals. But when we look closely, we find that canned corn might be doing more harm than good. Canned corn seems harmless, even wholesome. It's soft, easy to chew, and adds a touch of sweetness to many meals. But beneath that sweetness hides a deeper issue: added sugar and sodium, 2 of the most problematic ingredients for seniors aiming to maintain steady blood sugar levels and healthy blood pressure. As we age, the body's ability to process sugar and salt becomes more fragile. What used to be a minor indulgence can now send blood glucose soaring or cause the ankles to swell without warning. Canned corn has a high glycemic index, which means it raises your blood sugar rapidly. And unlike fresh corn, the canned version often comes preserved in a sugary, salty liquid that makes the problem worse. Alongside this, there's the digestive impact. Many seniors already deal with slower digestion, irregular bowel movements, and increased sensitivity to fiber. Canned corn contains a form of insoluble fiber that can ferment in the gut, causing bloating, gas, or uncomfortable fullness. And when it sits in BPA-lined containers, the exposure to certain chemicals can even affect hormone balance over time, a concern especially for seniors with heart, kidney, or thyroid issues. Take Clementine, for instance. A 72-year-old retired art teacher, she took pride in preparing her own meals after moving into a smaller home in Arizona. To simplify cooking, she began relying more on canned vegetables, especially corn, which she added to everything from soups to salads. She thought she was making a better choice by avoiding fast food. But over time, she began noticing constant swelling in her feet, unpredictable energy crashes in the afternoon, and blood pressure numbers that just wouldn't settle despite her medication. When her dietitian reviewed her eating habits, the canned corn stood out. Clementine was surprised. How could something so normal be such a silent contributor? After a few gentle swaps, like steamed green beans or roasted zucchini, things changed. Her swelling reduced, her digestion improved. Her blood pressure finally started to stabilize. She didn't feel like she had to overhaul her meals. Just a small adjustment gave her more control and energy during the day. For seniors navigating complex health needs, those small shifts matter. Food isn't just about tradition or routine anymore. It's about choosing what supports your body today. Canned corn may seem like a simple vegetable, but when it comes to your senior diet, it's one better left on the shelf or used very sparingly. In the next section, we'll look at another common vegetable that can interfere with thyroid function and digestive ease, especially when eaten raw. After understanding how something as common as canned corn can silently disrupt blood sugar and digestion, it's only natural to look deeper at other vegetables that might be having a similar hidden impact. That brings us to the second vegetable seniors should be cautious about, and this one may surprise you even more: Raw cruciferous vegetables like kale, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. These vegetables have earned their place in the spotlight as superfoods, praised for their fiber, antioxidants, and cancer-fighting potential. But for older adults, especially those dealing with sluggish metabolism or digestive sensitivity, eating them raw can quietly make things worse instead of better. The issue lies in a natural compound called goitrogens, found in high amounts in raw cruciferous vegetables. These compounds can interfere with your thyroid's ability to absorb iodine, a mineral critical for producing thyroid hormones. As we age, our thyroid function often slows down naturally. It's subtle, but real. You might feel colder more often, gain a little weight without changing your habits, or feel mentally foggy without knowing why. When goitrogens are consumed frequently in raw form, they may add to that slowdown, making symptoms more noticeable or even worsening an existing thyroid imbalance, especially in seniors already taking medication for hypothyroidism. Beyond the thyroid, the texture and fiber structure of these vegetables present another challenge. Raw cruciferous veggies are packed with insoluble fiber and complex plant sugars like raffinose, which are tough for even a young, healthy gut to break down. For older adults, especially those who already experience bloating, constipation, or gases, eating these vegetables raw can lead to a heavy, uncomfortable feeling after meals. It doesn't mean these vegetables are bad. In fact, they offer wonderful benefits, but how they're prepared makes all the difference. Cooking them lightly through steaming or roasting breaks down the harsh fibers and neutralizes much of the goitrogen content, making them far easier to digest and safer for long-term thyroid health. Let's look at Wallace, a 75-year-old jazz pianist from Michigan who decided to go green and swapped his toast and egg breakfast for daily smoothies packed with raw kale and broccoli. Within a few weeks, he noticed he felt slower, colder, and more tired throughout the day. He assumed it was just aging, but a blood test showed reduced thyroid hormone levels and borderline iron deficiency. When his doctor asked about dietary changes, the culprit was clear: too many raw cruciferous vegetables. Wallace was doing something he thought was healthy, but it wasn't tailored to what his body truly needed at this stage in life. After switching to lightly steamed greens and adding iodine-rich foods like eggs and seaweed flakes, his energy returned, his hands warmed up, and the fog began to lift. This experience is not uncommon, especially among well-meaning older adults, trying to eat better but unknowingly stressing their bodies. That's why awareness, not fear, is key. The goal is not to eliminate vegetables like kale or broccoli from your meals, but to prepare them in ways that support your current health, not your 30-year-old self's digestion. Gentle adjustments can go a long way. And up next, we'll look at a beautiful purple vegetable that may also be working against your joints without you even knowing. Following our look at raw cruciferous vegetables and how they may quietly interfere with thyroid health and digestion, let's move on to the third vegetable that seniors should think twice about, especially those who live with joint stiffness, arthritis, or chronic inflammation. This one often appears in Mediterranean-style dishes or veggie-based comfort foods and tends to be viewed as a health-friendly choice. But for many older adults, eggplant, despite its beautiful purple skin and soft texture, can be an unexpected source of pain and discomfort. Eggplant belongs to a plant family known as nightshades, which also includes tomatoes, bell peppers, and white potatoes. While these vegetables are nutritious in many ways, they contain a natural compound called solanine. For individuals with sensitive inflammatory systems, particularly seniors managing arthritis or gout, solanine can quietly aggravate joint pain. This isn't a dramatic reaction, and it doesn't happen to everyone. But for those affected, it's enough to feel it in the mornings when knees feel stiffer than usual, or in the evenings when walking feels heavier, especially in the hands, lower back, or hips. The tricky part is that eggplant is often prepared in delicious ways: roasted, baked into lasagna, or grilled in slices with olive oil. It's easy to enjoy, easy to digest, and widely seen as a better alternative to heavier meats or fried foods. But if you find yourself dealing with persistent aches or swelling and can't quite trace the cause, this seemingly harmless vegetable may be worth examining. The solanine content is highest in the skin, which is typically eaten. For people without any joint issues, that's not a concern. But for someone already battling inflammation, even small amounts can create unnecessary pressure on the joints. Let's take the story of Ramona, a 70-year-old retired librarian from Rhode Island. Ramona had always prided herself on cooking her own meals. She walked daily, stayed socially active, and maintained a mostly plant-based diet. Eggplant was one of her staples. She used it in soups, stews, and homemade baked pasta dishes at least twice a week. But she began waking up with stiffness in her hands and ankles that made mornings harder to enjoy. At first, she chalked it up to aging. But when a friend suggested trying a short elimination, Ramona removed eggplant from her diet for 4 weeks. To her surprise, the changes were noticeable. Her hands moved more freely in the mornings, she climbed stairs without hesitation, and her sleep improved because the dull joint discomfort she used to feel at night had eased. She didn't eliminate eggplant forever, but now she only includes it occasionally and in small amounts, and always monitors how her body reacts. This isn't about fearing food. It's about becoming more aware of what your body is telling you. Aging doesn't mean giving up the things you love, but it does mean learning how those things affect you now, in this chapter of life. For some, eggplant remains a safe, delicious part of the menu. For others, it's a signal worth listening to. And up next, we'll shift from what to avoid to what to embrace, starting with a simple route that does wonders for your heart, brain, and energy. Now that we've gently uncovered 3 vegetables that may quietly work against your well-being, let's shift our focus toward nourishment, the kind that builds you up instead of wearing you down. We've now arrived at the 3 vegetables that support healthy aging. And the first on that list is often underestimated, despite being one of nature's most powerful allies for the aging body. Beets, with their deep red color and earthy sweetness, are much more than a salad garnish or a roasted side. They're a heart and brain booster in the truest sense. Beets contain high levels of natural nitrates, compounds that help open up blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce the workload on the heart. For older adults who are managing blood pressure, occasional dizziness, or mental fog, adding beets to your routine can feel like flipping on a light switch. Better blood flow doesn't just mean a stronger heart. It means more oxygen to the brain, steadier balance, and a clearer mind throughout the day. That's why beets are becoming a go-to for seniors looking to support both cardiovascular and cognitive function without turning to more medications. And unlike some foods that are difficult to work into a meal, beets are incredibly versatile. You can roast them with olive oil for a warm side dish, steam them and store them in the fridge for the week, or blend them into a smoothie in the morning. Whichever way you prefer, you'll be giving your body a natural source of anti-inflammatory compounds like betalains, powerful phytonutrients that help calm the silent inflammation that often accompanies aging. This kind of inflammation doesn't always show up as pain right away. It often lingers in the background, slowly affecting energy, memory, and recovery from illness. Beets help fight that from within. One person who saw this firsthand was Bix, an 82-year-old retired jazz record producer from Baton Rouge. After a few weeks of struggling with lightheadedness and feeling unusually forgetful, Bix decided to try something simple: a daily beet smoothie. He called it his morning concert, and within a few weeks his energy felt more consistent. The dizzy spells faded, and he was able to stay focused longer during conversations. His doctor even noted improvements in his systolic blood pressure, which had been stubbornly elevated despite medication. It wasn't a drastic overhaul, just one small habit made with purpose. This is the kind of shift that supports graceful aging, not a crash diet, not a list of restrictions, but an invitation to choose foods that give back to your body instead of taking away. With beets, you're not just adding color to your plate, you're investing in stronger circulation, better brain health, and a more stable mood. It's a gentle daily act of care that your body recognizes and responds to. And in our next section, we'll explore a leafy green that protects both bones and immunity. Two things that quietly become more fragile with time and more valuable with age. After recognizing the power of beets in supporting circulation and Brain clarity. It makes sense to continue exploring vegetables that gently but effectively protect the aging body. One of the most quietly powerful greens you can welcome into your routine is bok choy, a tender, bone-building, immunity-boosting vegetable that fits seamlessly into everyday meals. Unlike tougher greens that may be harder to chew or digest, bok choy offers a gentle texture and a rich nutritional profile that meets the unique needs of seniors with care and ease. Bok choy is packed with calcium, vitamin C, and vitamin K2, a trio of nutrients that become especially important as we age. Calcium supports strong bones, but without vitamin K2, that calcium may not be directed to the right places. K2 acts like a traffic officer, helping calcium settle in the bones where it's needed and keeping it out of arteries, where it can cause problems. This dual action protects both skeletal strength and heart health, two areas of the body that grow more vulnerable over time but are deeply connected. When bones weaken, falls become more dangerous. When arteries harden, blood pressure rises. Bok choy addresses both without strain or side effects, and for those with sensitive stomachs, bok choy is a quiet gift. Unlike cruciferous vegetables that can cause bloating or gas when eaten raw, bok choy is naturally easier to digest. It has lower levels of insoluble fiber, which means it's less likely to cause discomfort after meals. Lightly stir-fried, steamed, or added to broth-based soups, bok choy blends well into most senior-friendly diets without disrupting the digestive system or medication routines. Take Helen, a 76-year-old retired music teacher from Ohio. After years of catching every seasonal cold and feeling unsteady on icy sidewalks, she started adding bok choy into her meals a few times a week. It wasn't a drastic change. She simply stirred it into vegetable soups or sautéed it with garlic as a side dish. That winter, for the first time in years, Helen made it through flu season without falling ill. She noticed she was steadier on her feet and more confident walking through her home in the early morning. During her next checkup, her doctor noted a slight improvement in bone density, and Helen credited her bok choy. This kind of result isn't magic. It's the quiet impact of a well-matched vegetable doing its job. Sometimes the foods that serve us best aren't flashy or exotic. They're simply aligned with where we are in life. Bok choy is gentle but effective, subtle yet powerful. It nourishes without overwhelming, offering seniors a simple way to support their bones, immunity, and circulation all in one. In the next section, we'll turn our attention to one more green that delivers steady blood sugar, smoother digestion, and even helps maintain muscle. A small vegetable with a surprisingly big role in senior vitality. After exploring the gentle strength of bok choy and how it protects bones and immunity, we arrive at the third vegetable that supports healthy aging, one that often goes unnoticed but delivers remarkable benefits with every small serving. Let's talk about green peas, those tiny legumes that quietly offer big rewards for seniors, especially when it comes to blood sugar stability, digestive comfort, and preserving muscle mass with age. Green peas are more than just a side dish from childhood dinners. They're rich in soluble fiber, which helps slow the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream. For older adults managing pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or simply trying to avoid blood sugar crashes after meals, this gentle effect can make a meaningful difference. Instead of a spike and slump, peas help maintain steady energy, which in turn supports clearer thinking, a balanced mood, and fewer afternoon slumps that often lead to unhealthy snacking. In addition to fiber, green peas also offer a surprising amount of plant-based protein, about 8 grams per cooked cup. That's a big deal for seniors facing muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia. Muscle isn't just about strength, it's about independence, balance, and injury prevention. Adding green peas to meals is a simple, affordable way to support muscle health without relying on protein powders or expensive supplements. For older adults who prefer gentle foods that are easy to chew and digest, peas offer a practical path forward. They also help with regularity, a common concern among seniors. The combination of fiber and mild texture means green peas can help ease constipation without causing bloating. Unlike some high-fiber vegetables that feel too rough on the stomach, peas are soft and soothing, yet still stimulate the gut in healthy ways. Whether stirred into soups, mixed with eggs, or folded into a stew, they adapt well to any routine. Fern, an 80-year-old former postal worker from Oregon, shared how a small habit brought surprising change. After struggling with sluggish afternoons, irregular digestion, and a creeping A1C level, he started including green peas in his meals every day. Omelets, soups, and even mashed into a simple spread. Within weeks, he noticed his energy returning and his need for midday rest diminishing. His digestion improved without the need for extra fiber supplements, and a follow-up blood test revealed a drop in his blood sugar readings. Fern now refers to peas as his little green protectors, a simple comfort food that quietly supported him in ways he didn't expect. This is what healthy aging often looks like. Not grand transformations, but steady, mindful choices. Green peas might not look dramatic on the plate, but their impact is deeply rooted in what matters most: stable energy, smooth digestion, and physical strength. And in the rhythm of daily meals, that quiet support is everything. As we come to the end of this journey through helpful and harmful vegetables, it's clear that eating well after 60 doesn't mean restriction. It means realignment. Now, let's bring it all together. Aging well doesn't mean giving up your favorite meals. It means choosing ingredients that support the body you live in now. Today we've uncovered 3 vegetables that may quietly cause harm, like canned corn, raw cruciferous vegetables, and eggplant, and replaced them with 3 powerful allies: beets, bok choy, and green peas. Each one was chosen not for trend or hype, but for its real impact on blood pressure, digestion, inflammation, and long-term vitality. Small, steady changes often lead to the biggest results. You don't need a strict diet. Just swap one ingredient, one habit, one meal at a time. Over time, you'll notice better energy, fewer aches, and a sense of peace, knowing your food is working with you, not against you. If you've had your own experience, positive or surprising, with one of these vegetables, we'd love to hear it. Drop your story in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, like this video, subscribe to our channel and share it with someone who needs it.